In this video, I'm going to show you a 3-step process to help you choose the best story idea for your comic book or graphic novel. Greetings and salutations. How the devil art thou? I'm Lucifer Storm, an award-winning graphic novelist from the UK, and I'm responsible for writing such books as Endscreen Demon Hunter. Every comic book story starts with an idea, also known as a concept. However, the sad truth is that not all ideas are created equal. Some ideas are just middle of the road. Some ideas are responsible for creating a cacophony of yawns. And other ideas are exciting and thrilling and lead to great books being written and illustrated. But the question is, how can we spot the difference between a boring idea, a middle-of-the-road idea, and a good or even great idea? Well, I'm going to help you with that by showing you a 3-step process to help you analyze and test the idea or ideas that you have so that you can choose the best idea to develop into a comic book or graphic novel. As I just mentioned, another name for a story idea is a concept. A concept is a what-if question that can only be answered through the exploration of a story. So if I ask the question of what if I put my hand into this fire I've just lit, the question doesn't need me to explain the outcome through a story. Therefore, we can safely say that the question presented was not a concept. However, if I ask the question, what if the human race lived on a planet where the surface was covered by continual fires that couldn't be put out? This would qualify as a concept for a story. But even though we've learned what constitutes a concept and what doesn't, we still need a way of deciphering very early on how to spot which concepts are worth following and developing. I'm going to list 3 concepts and I want to see if you can spot anything that connects them. What if the world we lived in was actually a computer simulation? What if a low-life crook believed in the philosophical concept of karma? What if a God-fearing man was given an ability that made him more powerful than God? As you may have noticed, one of these concepts covers a movie, one covers a TV show, and one covers a comic book series. However, each one of these concepts shares something in common, and what they share in common is this. They present us with the possibility of a reveal that can lead to an adventure. Allow me to elaborate. With the concept of what if the world we lived in was actually a computer simulation, we can see that the only way we can explore this concept is through a character who has discovered the truth about the world he has lived in, and that by discovering this truth, he must go on an adventure to learn why he is being forced to live within a computer simulation. With the concept of what if a low-life crook believed in the philosophical concept of karma, we can see that the story would most likely have a character who has been living a life of crime and deceit until he discovers the concept of karma. Once this character has bought into the concept of karma, they will have to go on a journey or an adventure. That adventure will lead to them either leading a better life, becoming a better person, making up for their past wrongs, or all of the above. And lastly, with the concept of what if a God-fearing man was given an ability that made him more powerful than God, it makes sense that we would begin with a character who considers God to be more powerful and mighty than any human being, and upon being graced with his newfound abilities, they would want to find out how this happened and why. Therefore, they would go on a journey to answer these questions, and upon these questions being answered, a truth would be revealed. So whenever you come up with a concept, one of the first things you should do is write it down, look at it, and ask yourself from an objective standpoint, does this concept present the possibility of a reveal that leads to an adventure or journey? Now, believe it or not, that's just the first step. But before I carry on, I just wanted to ask if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to check out my website and sign up for my mailing list. I send weekly emails to everyone on my mailing list, and upon signing up, you will receive a digital copy of the first issue of my Outlaw comic miniseries, Endscreen Demon Hunter, for free. A link to my website is in the description box down below. So now that you've come up with a what if question or concept, and you've taken a look at it and discovered that it presents us with the possibility of a reveal that can lead to an adventure, we need to move on to the next step to make sure that our concept is really worth developing. We need to look at our concept and ask, does the reveal present the possibility of creating discomfort for the lead? As humans, we all like to feel comfortable. However, the stories we enjoy the most are about someone whose comfort is disrupted, and the only way for them to find comfort again is by going on a journey or adventure. Let's take another look at our examples from earlier, shall we? With the concept of what if the world we lived in was actually a computer simulation, it makes sense that our lead will be living life as usual, unaware that everything around them is not real. Because of this, they will be feeling comfortable in their everyday existence. But when the truth is revealed to them that the world they live in is a computer simulation, they won't be able to look at the world around them the same ever again. In other words, with this concept, there will have to be a lead or leads who feel comfortable, but after a reveal is presented or discovered, they will feel uncomfortable. And this discomfort will lead to them going on a journey to find comfort again. With the concept of what if a low-life crook believed in the philosophical concept of karma, it makes sense that we will have a character who has fooled himself into feeling that his life as a criminal is comfortable. However, a reveal will take place that causes him to realize that he's actually been uncomfortable with his way of being this whole time, and goes on a journey to try and find the comfort he desires. And lastly, with the concept of what if a God-fearing man was given an ability that made him more powerful than God, it makes sense that we would begin with a character who's comfortable being a servant of God. But upon the reveal that he has somehow gained powers that make him more powerful than God, he feels great discomfort. This discomfort would obviously lead to him having a deep desire to return to a place of comfort, which he can't do until he gets some answers. Because of this, he would therefore have to go on a journey or adventure to get the answers he is seeking, which he believes would allow him to return to a place of comfort. Now we can move on to step 3. You've got your concept. You can see that it presents us with the possibility of a reveal that can lead to an adventure. On top of that, you now know that the reveal presents the possibility of creating discomfort for the lead. So now, you need to look at your concept again and ask, does the adventure present moments of adversity or conflict for the lead or leads? There are 2 elements in every story regardless of genre, and those elements are conflict and suspense. And if your concept doesn't present the potential for the lead to face conflict when they go on their adventure, then it's not worth developing. Let me elaborate using our 3 examples. With the concept of what if the world we lived in was actually a computer simulation, it makes sense that the revelation that the lead of our story discovers is a secret that has been kept hidden for many years. So it makes sense that someone out there wanted this secret to remain hidden for some reason or purpose, and that now the lead has discovered the truth and intends on going on a journey to learn more, that there would be an imposing force who will do all they can to make sure the lead doesn't succeed. This means that our lead will face a fair amount of conflict. With the concept of what if a low-life crook believed in the philosophical concept of karma, it makes sense that while the lead has just enough belief in themselves to change their ways, others won't because of the lead's past actions. Some people will even believe that the lead's sudden conversion to becoming an upstanding citizen is part of a con job, and they'll want to expose or slow him down, which in turn leads to the conflict being present during the lead's adventure. And last but not least, with the concept of what if a God-fearing man was given an ability that made him more powerful than God, it makes sense that there would be people out there in the world he exists in who would believe that it's best for all of mankind to be oblivious to God's plans. There may even be people who already know the truth as to why this man of the faith has been given these powers and believe that it's best he never finds out why. Therefore, this presents the opportunity for conflict once our lead begins their journey or quest. So there you have it, a 3-step process to make sure that the concept you have chosen is the best one to develop into a comic book or graphic novel. I just want to thank you for watching my video, and I sincerely hope it has helped you out. and if it has, please feel free to share this video with anyone who you feel would benefit from watching it. And don't forget to check out more of my videos about how to write stories for comic books and graphic novels. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but most importantly, stay awesome.